The Kentucky Derby always attracts large crowds of spectators with money to spend, and some of that money, however, is spent on the sex trade, and every Derby brings a spike in trafficking. This year, Wave News reporter David Mattingly finds new efforts to discourage the buyers.
Driving 65 south into Louisville, a series of billboards issues ominous warnings. They are a stern message for any Derby goer thinking of buying sex.
It's going to wreck lives. I know we always hear that purchasing sex or prostitution is a harmless crime, but that is not true.
The organization called Rights for Girls is trying to keep young women from being sexually exploited. And they're doing that by tailoring their message to high-profile sporting events that attract men and money. In this case, the Kentucky Derby.
So it creates this perfect storm of a surge in commercial sex market. While people are celebrating and partying, they also have an entitlement to women's bodies and feel like that is something that they should also be able to purchase during these large events.
According to Rights for Girls, over 90% of women in the sex trade report being shot, raped, strangled, burned, stabbed, or beaten. And the abuse is often at the hands of the sex buyers. With that in mind, local authorities are asking Derby visitors to keep their eyes open and report suspicions to first responders.
Look for things that look out of place. A young girl that could be inappropriately dressed for her age, someone that looks like they're being led around by an older person, someone who can't speak for themselves in a conversation. If it doesn't look right to you, there's a good chance that maybe it's just not right.